Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the first monthly reset of 2024, which is kind of crazy. Hopefully the microphone quality is a little bit better right now. I recently got a new camera, if you guys are somewhat new here, and I'm trying to figure it out because with my Canon I never had to adjust anything, but obviously the Sony is a bit more of a complex camera, so I'm trying to tweak it, and I ordered an external microphone to put on the camera, but it's not coming until next week. So hopefully the quality, I kind of played around with it a little bit. Hopefully it's a little bit better and a little less echoey in here. I think the issue with my office was we don't have anything on the walls, so it was just like a little echoey. But hello, welcome to the first reset of 2024. If you guys are new here, I started filming these resets, honestly, my first one was December of 2020, which is kind of crazy. We're going to 2024, like 3+ years of doing monthly resets. And it's so cool to see how they've evolved over time. This reset is going to be a little bit different than other ones throughout the year because I don't plan on actually doing any reflection on December. So typically with the monthly resets, we'll go over the previous month's goals, then set new goals for the next month. Same thing with the budget on the last month, yada, yada, yada. But I really want to go into 2024 just like clean slate, starting fresh. So next month will be kind of like a more full reset in terms of reflecting on January goals, setting February goals, reflecting on the budget, making a new budget. That makes sense. So today's video might be a little bit shorter, but I'm trying to make up for that. I have a few more favorites than usual and a few new segments that I'm super excited to add into this video. And I feel like the monthly resets are kind of like always evolving and changing, and it's kind of fun. It keeps me on my toes and hopefully keeps these videos pretty interesting for you guys. So in today's video, I want to share my January goals with you guys. We'll do a setup of my January budget. I'll share my current favorites, which I have a lot more than usual because you guys were like, girl, give us all the favorites. And so I tried to be really mindful about the products I included, but I have my favorites. I'm also gonna share my TBR for January. Now, I'm a mood reader, but I really want to try and stick to a bit better of a TBR, especially now that I'm taking out so many library books. I feel like I kind of have to stick with books that I have and I can't mood read as much. So I'm super excited. We might have a few other... Oh, and I also want to share my reflection questions for 2024. I honestly don't know where to start. I feel like I'm honestly this year weirdly excited for January, and if you know me and you've watched my videos, you guys know I hate winter. I despise winter. And I obviously struggle with my mental health. I have just like high functioning depression in general. I have anxiety and PTSD. And I also have seasonal affective disorder. And one thing I'm really working on this year is radical acceptance. And what that means is basically like accepting things you can't change. I saw an Instagram story like about a month ago now, and it truly, I'm not even kidding you guys, it literally changed my life. It was a quote that said like radical acceptance in the winter, and it basically was like, oh, I hate the snow, like blah, 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 the snow sucks, the snow is ruining my life. Like that's how I think a lot of us think and how I think. But then the other one was like, it's snowing, I can't do anything about it, let me find ways to embrace this season. And that's something I'm really trying to work on this winter, as I'm viewing it more as just like leaning into this season. I'm sure there's some books on this, and if you have any recommendations, I would love some, just about learning to lean into the seasons. I'm just viewing January as a time to be like a little animal that hibernates. Okay, I'm trying to do puzzles. I'm trying to drink wine. I'm trying to drink tea and watch movies and play, you know, video games and read lots of books and just be cozy in our home. I also will say that it's very mild here right now because obviously climate change is such a big thing. And while it makes me really sad, I'm also not gonna lie, there's a part of me that doesn't hate it because it is a little warmer. Well, it's in the positives. It is very warm here so far this winter. And so my thoughts on January. I'm actually looking forward to it for once in my life, and that's just the way I think I need to go about it from now on. Radical acceptance, radical acceptance. I've also decided for January that I'm going to go into the year slowly and gently. I feel like a lot of us hit the ground running in January. Nothing wrong with that, but then I find by like February or March, I'm kind of starting to feel the burnout. So you guys will see with my goal setting, and I always say how important this is to set fun goals and then to set goals that require like momentum and effort and hard work, because I think a balance of the two is really, really great long term and helps you kind of stay balanced with goal setting. And yeah, so let's jump into it. I'm literally so excited. Kind of going along with the radical acceptance thing, my theme for January and my quote for January is, winter is the time for comfort, for good food and warmth, for the touch of a friendly hand, and for a talk beside the fire. It is the time for home. And that quote just really, I don't know, it just really resonated with me. My January goals are a mix of yearly goals broken down and then just some kind of random things I want to do in January. So In personal, I have 3. I have teach myself 5 words in sign language. You guys know one of my yearly goals is to learn 50 words. So I want to do that, and I'm holding myself to it that in my February reset, I have to show you guys the 5 words that I learned, and someone can critique them that knows sign language. The second one, I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this on or not, because I really think 2024 is the year that I just ditched the whole morning routine. I'm so tired of trying to perfect this perfect morning routine, but I do want to challenge myself to get up early and spend time with myself. Now, if you know me, you know I am not a morning person. However, I will say this, that when Matt gets up at like 6:30 to get ready for work, and then I like kind of wake up too and I can't go back to bed, I love the feeling of getting up early and just reading or playing video games, honestly, or just doing something for myself. But when I set my alarm to get up early, I can never bring myself to do it. But when I get up early, like if I wake up naturally early, I do love that feeling. So I would really like to experiment maybe once or twice a week, just getting up early to spend time with myself. I just feel like the days are so busy with YouTube and working a corporate job, and the weekends are so busy with home projects that we don't really have time or like a lot of extra time anymore to like sit and read and just relax. So I'm thinking about starting to get up a little bit earlier so I can read maybe for 30 minutes even in the morning. I don't know, I'll see if that one stays on there, but it is something that when I first started jotting down my goals just like really came to mind. So maybe we'll just go with it. And then the next is to make bread in the bread maker, which I didn't realize this was such a hot topic, bread makers. Like everyone is like, that's not really making bread, but you know, let's just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy, and it's still making bread. It's still trying something new, and so it's a Christmas gift. I'm really grateful for it, and I really want to learn to use it. So I'd love to make bread in the bread maker. Okay, new category. I added like a bookish category of goals because I was putting them in my personal, but it just didn't feel like it fit into the personal goal. Read for at least 60 hours this month. I set a yearly goal to read, I think, did I put 700? I think about 700. So I didn't set a book number goal this year, but I want to just dedicate a bit more time reading, and your Kindle actually tracks your hours read, which is super cool. So there's 365 days in a year, 2 hours, give or take a day. Obviously some days will be more, some days will be less. Brings us to about 730 hours. And so this month I just like to prioritize reading for at least 60 hours, which is 2 hours a day, which feels very doable to me because I read. I'm a huge night owl. I always get asked when I read, and it's at night. I'm a huge night owl. So Matt typically falls asleep around 10. I usually read till about midnight, so I kind of already average about 2 hours a day. I want to read 2 physical books for my 2024 reading list, which I made a 24 books I want to read in 2024 list. And then I want to read 1 Brandon Sanderson book, and I'll let you guys know what book I'm going to kick off the year with, and I'm so excited about it. Okay, and for health and wellness and finance, I actually didn't set any goals this month, which is kind of wild, but hear me out. I feel like I'm going to go into 2024 and kind of pick and choose the categories I prioritize every month. I really wanted to try the thought of like different themes for every month. I think Jenna did that last year, Jenna Hong. But I decided that I would focus on like 3 or 4 categories in goal setting every month, and then just kind of switch it up. I honestly don't foresee myself having any financial goals this year, like monthly, because my financial goals for the year, which I also have a video on that if you guys are interested, are very straightforward. And I just don't have anything this month I want to do to contribute to that. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to save and invest, because I am, but it just seems silly. Like, my yearly goal is to beef up my emergency fund and to invest $10,000, but like I'm not going to put, say, $500 in my monthly goals every single month, because it's just like a repetitive goal that I'm going to do anyways when I budget. I'm trialing being okay with not setting goals in certain categories every month, and the type A person in me doesn't love that, but I'm trying to embrace it and learn that it's okay to focus on other categories and not have so many goals. This is a good example too, because I set business goals this month, but maybe I won't have business goals next month and I'll have health and wellness goals. I set numeric goals, which is kind of funny for me because you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with them. So I put hit 10K on TikTok. I kind of talked about this in depth, that I just like think TikTok is so fun, honestly, and it's just so, I can just kind of be a different kind of creative than I can be on here. So I'd love to hit 10K on there. I feel like that's really a platform that's so cool that anyone can grow. Like, the algorithm is going to show you everyone and anyone, and you really do get rewarded for posting frequently. And so I think it'd be fun to just hit 10K on there, and then I'd love to hit 95K on YouTube. Once again, YouTube goals are kind of hard because you can, I upload 3 videos a week. There's things I could do better, like search and SEO and trendy videos and thumbnails and titles, but overall, sometimes you can't like help it if you hit milestones or not. So it's something I'm on track to hit this month, but if I don't hit it, it's also okay. And then one of my goals for 2024 is to film a reading video every month. So I'm going to kind of hold myself accountable by setting that as a goal every month. So I have film finishing series I'm in the middle of reading video. So super excited about that. For relationship, I have try out a new restaurant, get out of the house for a date night. I feel like especially with renovating a home and just having so many home projects, it's really easy for us on a Friday night to just get carried away with things around the house. And while that's okay, I just don't ever want to not prioritize our relationship. And I want to make sure that we are still doing fun things amidst renovations that fit into our budget. And then also watch 2 new movies because I feel like we just don't watch a lot of movies. And then in February, hopefully we'll have some movies that I can give you guys reviews on that we watched. This is a category that I tend to have a lot of goals in because I'm someone who would rather have a huge list of things to do and then kind of do whatever I'm in the mood to do that day. So in House and Home, I have get a quote for our kitchen countertops, finish our hutch makeover, finish painting the trim on the main floor, and then I want to start a gallery wall in the dining room, but I want to thrift that. So it might take me a little bit, but I want to at least start thrifting some frames. And yeah, those are my goals for January. I'm super excited about them. Actually, while we're at it, let's do my book wrap up. I barely read any books in December just because we were so busy. I didn't even read a single book in November. One of them I'm not going to be talking about, even though I loved it, because it's kind of a tricky situation right now because the publishing house is apparently being boycotted, but the author is not. So you can buy the book and support the author, but you can't talk about it online. It's a certain fantasy book that came out this year that the sequel came out on Boxing Day, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't really know if we should talk about it or not, so I'm not gonna talk about it. In that, I read Revved by Samantha Towell. This was on Kindle Unlimited. I gave this 3.75 stars. I had so much fun reading this book. It kind of gave Lauren Asher vibes. It was like a F1 romance book. It was basically about this mechanic, Andy, who gets recruited to this new F1 team, and she has a rule of dating no drivers, but obviously there's this bad guy on the team, or bad boy I should say. His name is Carrick, and he's like a partier, and you know, he's giving like Max Verstappen winning vibes, you know, like not party vibes, and Max doesn't really give me like bad boy vibes, but like kind of like he's winning everything. Anyway, she obviously has a crush on him, and it's a romance, you know where it goes. I overall enjoyed the book, but I hate push and pull in romance books, like the makeup, breakup, I can't be with you, I can't be with you. I just personally don't like that. It gets exhausting, and I just find it really immature. So that's why I didn't rate the book any higher. Samantha has amazing writing. This was my first book from her, and I'll definitely read others from her. I really enjoyed it. It was easy to read, but it was also really fun. Like F1 and steamy books with angst, you honestly love this, and I do recommend it. I just know going into it, there's a lot of push and pull. Next, I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber, which I talked about this in depth in a vlog, so I'll link that vlog. But I give the series overall 3 stars. It was fun, but it wasn't anything like amazing for me personally. Next, I read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I gave this 2 stars. Honestly, it was not, I'm a huge Riley Sager fan, but this was just not it for me. This is basically about a girl named Jules, and she is pretty broke and like kind of on the verge of homelessness. Like she's getting kicked out of her apartment. Anyway, she gets a job as an apartment sitter in this like very high profile mysterious buildings in Manhattan called the Bartholomew. It was kind of giving hotel vibes from American Horror Story. I think that's season 5, where they're in that Hotel Cortez. That's like very, you know, I think there's a hotel in California that's like this. But anyways, basically she was like not allowed to have any visitors. She wasn't allowed to be away from the hotel or apartment. She wasn't allowed to like talk to anybody who was famous. Finds herself drawn to this other apartment sitter named Ingrid, and then she goes missing. Ingrid does, and then she's trying to kind of figure it out. And honestly, I kind of went into it knowing it wasn't going to be a fan favorite of mine. It had like potential, but I just didn't like the plot twist and the ending personally. I just found the characters super annoying and unrealistic, and I almost DNF'd it, but it was one of those books I feel like with thrillers, I never DNF them because I'm just waiting for them to get good. And sometimes they do, and this one did not. Also, same with this one. I read The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I gave this like 2.5 stars. This is about Alex. She's always wanted to be a published author, and she receives a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to attend a month-long writing retreat at the home of her idol, a best-selling horror writer named Rosa. Former like best friend Ren is also invited, so there's like some tension there. There's like 6 or 8 of them or something. They have to write a novel from scratch. They're basically in this like abandoned like mansion in the middle of a wintry forest, and I was kind of expecting it to just be a bit more cutthroat, and the pacing felt really weird. There was like way too many weird sex descriptions of like nipples in this, and there was some really weird paranormal sex scenes, and the twists were weird, and I just kind of felt very disconnected from the book because of the weird plot twist after plot twist. But if you like very unrealistic plot twists, which some people do, you would really enjoy this book. It just was not for me. Didn't feel very likable at all. So those were the books that I read in January. It was kind of like a meh reading month for me, quite honestly. Okay, I'm not too sure if the lighting changed. I just had to take a break because Matt was installing a new stovetop. That's why I don't normally film on the weekends, because I like to let him do his tool thing, and it's loud. But I wanted to share my January TBR with you guys. Y'all are gonna have to really hold me accountable in February's video. Like, I'm not messing around, okay? So, the first book I want to read in January is for our library's 2024 reading challenge, and January's prompt was a debut title from 2023. This was one of my highly anticipated reads for 2023, and it went on sale on Boxing Day. You guys know I'm a big fan of Amazon's daily book sales because I got this for literally $2.99 or $3.99, and that is Wayward by Amelia Hart. This is a magical realism witch story over 3 different timelines, so it'd be really good, honestly, for spooky season. But y'all know spooky season lives in my heart all year round. So I'm really excited about this one, and I've already started it. So I think I'm going to be able to finish it in January. Next, I have 2 books from my 24 books in 2024 video. First one is The Thursday Murder Club. I have a lot of fantasy on this list because I really think, guys, 2024 is not only going to be my year, but it's going to be my year to find the fantasy subgenre that I love. But I wanted to make sure I included some books on here that weren't fantasy because I don't want to overwhelm myself and get burnt out. Seems like a really fun, like snowy, rainy weekend sitting in the library reading kind of book, and it honestly just seems like a good time. This is about 4 friends in a retirement community that meet weekly to discuss unsolved crimes, and I'm assuming, yeah, a local developer dies with a mysterious photograph left to the body, and the friends try and solve it, kind of like Only Murders in the Building, kind of gives that energy. So I'm really excited to read this. Someone was saying this in their best books of 2023 video, that January is always the best month of reading because you watch everybody's favorite books of the year videos in December, and then you like line up your TBR. And I've had this book for so long. I've had it since it came out because I heard Sarah Crowley talk about it, and it was on so many people's best books of 2023 video, and I just love that for like a debut self-published author. Like, I just love that for Lauren Roberts. So I really want to get to Powerless in January. Sarah Crowley said it's super easy to understand. Someone else talked about this in their yearly wrap up, but I want to read it before the second book comes out this year. I think I might start this tonight because I'm so excited. You guys saw this in the reading vlog, but I picked up Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Reagan from Peru's Project talked so highly of this. I think it was on her top books of the year list, and I am so excited to read this. Brandon Sanderson published 4 of his secret projects I think it was all in 2023. He had like launched a Kickstarter for it and everything. And this just seems like a really good start into Brandon Sanderson and like not super intimidating. I do also have the Mistborn trilogy, which I'd love to start, but this just seems like a really good time. And once again, it was on a lot of people's 2023 like best books of the year list. So I'm really excited to read this. 2 library books, and then like I said, there's a bunch of new releases coming out this month too, so I'd like to prioritize that. The Kiss of Deception, which is the first book in the Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. This one sounds so good. It's about a princess who flees on her wedding day and she steals some ancient documents, like giving National Treasure kind of vibes, and I'm really excited about that. As I'm filming this, I just got the notification on my phone that one of you comment saying that this was one of your favorite books of all time. This is The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. Sorry, they're so reflective when it's a library book. Alessandra is tired of being overlooked, but she has a plan to gain power, woo the Shadow King, marry him, and kill him. But then I have a feeling she's gonna fall in love with him. Like, that just kind of seems like the vibe. So I'm really excited about this. So the books that I want to read in January, like I said, I'm a mood reader, so I definitely will read other books in January, but those are the ones I really want to make sure that I am prioritizing, and I'm super excited about them. Let's do a mental check because I got distracted for a bit. We did goals. We did book wrap up. We did my TBR. Okay, let's do favorites, and then we'll end on the budget. That way anyone that's not interested can leave, because I don't blame you. It's not for everybody. You asked, I delivered on the favorites. I tried to do a variety, but there is some beauty, some food, some wine, and some clothing items on here. If you're new to the monthly resets, I also usually do like my favorite movie, favorite TV show, favorite podcast, and then favorite creators. But I feel like December was just like one of those months that we just didn't really watch a lot of TV or movies. Like, the only movie we watched is Saltburn, and I can't decide if I loved it or hated it, but I think I'm leaning towards I loved it because honestly, I can't stop thinking about it. There hasn't been a movie I've watched in a really long time that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since probably Multiverse of Madness. So honestly, I'm leaning towards I loved it. It was so like just trippy and weird, but also like it felt like a really intense thriller book. So I think I loved it. I don't know, if you've watched it, let me know what you guys think, but let's do favorites. Making the monthly favorites layout, I want to break it down a bit further into like favorite home product, favorite drink, favorite snack, favorite beauty products, etc. But this is literally just gonna be a random assortment. I literally have a basket that I have dubbed the favorites basket, and she is full to the brim. But let's start with clothing. Going forward, like I said, I want to have like one clothing favorite. You guys know I don't buy a ton of clothing, but this is so nice, and the quality is really, really good. You guys know I love Aerie. I've always been a big fan of Aerie. I have so many of their crew necks and stuff, but this is like a different material. I'll link it down below. It is so nice. I thought it was gonna be the same material as their other crew necks that are like this crew neck material, but it's more of like a softer, almost like fake cashmere. I don't know, like you could dress this up with a pair of jeans kind of vibe. Maybe you can tell by the neckline. Yeah. It's just like a softer, stretchier material, and I just love Aerie sweaters because I'm super tall. I'm 5'11", and I love how long they are. And I really liked this red color for Christmas, and honestly just going forward, I just think it's a nice color. I love wearing these when I work from home with a pair of leggings because the neckline on this, just like I said, it looks a little bit nicer than just wearing a crew neck. And so I really love this. I'll link it down below. I feel like Aerie's always doing sales and stuff, but I wore this so many times in December. I love having you guys involved in like videos and choices and stuff. So I asked you guys on Instagram what segments for the monthly favorites you guys would want. And a lot of you guys said more food. So like snacks, drinks, and wine, since we like to try a lot of new wine. My current favorite wine though, this is the Honest Lot Sauvignon Blanc, and it's a 0 gram of sugar one. Now, love dry crispy wine. I'm not someone who like counts my macros or my calories or anything, but when I see a wine like this that's like 1 gram of sugar, 2 grams of sugar, I always pick it up because I love crispy dry ass wine. And this slaps. Honestly, this is a new bottle. Obviously it's a new bottle. It's so good. I will say I don't like the like healthier red wine. I feel like red wine, you just gotta stick with the normal red wine, because we tried one that was like, I think it was the Basque, like 2 gram of sugar one. It's not good. How many times have I said dry crispy wine? Anyways, I love this. Next is an electronic favorite. If you're a creator, photographer, videographer, etc. I got this little, like, it looks like a suitcase for a Disney trip actually, and it carries all of my memory cards, which is great because I used to have them all in a Ziploc baggie. Looks like this. Micro SD and regular SD, and I just love it. I think it's great. It's pretty compact to have in your suitcase, which is really nice. I have some food favorites. First is this granola from Purely Elizabeth. It's the chocolate sea salt. It's so good. I don't know if you can, actually I think you can get this in Canada on like Natura Market or well.ca. I get it when I cross the border in the States, but it's so good. This is, I like all of them though, and they're all really, really good, but this one is my favorite. I'm really into chocolate and sea salt right now. It's just chef's kiss. So I really love this. This should come as no freaking surprise to any of you guys. They literally just sent me a PR package because I've been raving about how much I love them. This is the Good Food chocolate hazelnut spread. You guys, I've gotten so many people on Instagram hooked on this. If I fed this to you with a blindfold, you would think it's Nutella. It's so similar. It's so good. I eat spoonfuls of it every single day, and it's just like a little bit better for you. I try and watch my added sugar intake just with like my hormones, and I just have a very sensitive gut. I think my IBS and added sugar plays a big part. I get asked that a lot, like why I tend to like buy lower sugar like dessert items and stuff, and it's just because it doesn't agree with my IBS, like having a lot of sugar. Anyways, this is so good. I feel like if you're keto or diabetic, this is a really great option as well. They also make jams and syrups, and it's honestly so good. You would not even realize that it's like quote unquote, I don't want to say healthier, I don't like using that word, but like an alternative. It's so good. It's a banger option. I had to bring this specifically because I've never gone through peanut butter so fast in my life. Market for a natural peanut butter. I don't like the taste of like just like no name peanut, like I don't know how to explain it. Like the really smooth stuff like Kraft. I don't know. I don't really like it. But I've really struggled to find a good natural peanut butter, and this is it, you guys. This is the Adams 100% natural creamy peanut butter. This is so good because it's still super salty. Like I feel like sometimes natural peanut butters are like so not the vibe. This is so good. The only ingredients are literally peanuts and salt, and it is just bought the giant one. Like you guys can see, I've never gone through peanut butter so fast in my life. So good. It's also easy to use. I feel like some natural peanut butters, like it does separate. I just keep it upside down in the fridge, but it's super easy to get it out of there because I feel like with natural peanut butters, it can be a workout to get the peanut butter out of the jar and stir it. This is so good. Please try this. Flush Bomb in Beverly Hills. This is just like a stunning pink color for all year round. It's just really like, I just think it's like the perfect all year round blush color. It's so pretty. And lastly, I have this, which Shannon Marie, who used to be Second Star Collective on Instagram, she's a Disney creator in Orlando, or like she's an Orlando creator, but she posted this on her Amazon ones, and I was like, I'm gonna try this because I don't really like the foaming self tanners. This is it, you guys. This is the Beauty by Earth Fair to Medium Self Tanning Lotion. This is so much easier to apply than a foam because I just put it on my hands and I just rub it in after shower. And especially in the winter when it's super dry here, I feel like having it in a lotion also helps hydrate your skin. So I really love this. I do believe this is like an, organic, natural product, but it works really, really well. It gives a really nice subtle glow and it helps me not fight those winter uglies, if you know what I mean. So this is what it looks like. I love it so much. My super random favorites, but like I said, going forward into February, it'll be a bit more structured, like favorite movie, TV show, podcast, all that kind of stuff. But I just kind of wanted to talk about, these are probably some of my favorite products of the year, truthfully. I love them that much. Finish up with my budget. I am reusing my 2023 annual budget. I just made a copy, started a fresh year, but I will be transitioning over to a 2024 spreadsheet. The owner of the Etsy shop, whose template that I use, which it's not my template. People ask me that all the time. It's not mine. It's just an Etsy shop that I love to support. Kat is awesome over at the Hundreds Club. She's working on the 2024 spreadsheet. It wasn't done yet at the time of filming this, so I just decided, you know what? I'm not gonna wait to start budgeting. I wanna, get back on it January 1st. And so I'm just using my 2023 spreadsheet for now, but it'll probably change in February. I'm feeling really excited to go into the new year and budget. I typically take a break from budgeting in December, but not sorry, I should rephrase that. Tracking my income. I typically just take a break from tracking everything in December. I do love to track because it keeps me accountable, but December is just such a busy month already that I didn't save, I go into the month and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to save or invest any money this month. I am just going to kind of honestly enjoy the month. And I'm very intuitive and intentional with spending money anyway. So it's not like my credit card was out of this world. If anything, it was actually a lot lower. But it's nice to go into the new year feeling motivated again. It's always nice to take breaks sometimes and recharge, even with things like budgeting. So let me open my budget spreadsheet. So here is my budget spreadsheet for January. Now, let me think of where I want to start with this. Let's actually start over here, I guess. So December was a 3 paycheck month and we finally got our bearings with our new bills in the new house because obviously we moved at the beginning or end of October, early November. So November was a double bill month, which sucked. December, we still had a few bills from the condo to pay and now we're fully on our new bill system. And so it'll be nice to kind of just know what our bills are going to be going into the new year. But my rollover is pretty high just because it was a 3 paycheck month and I was spending a lot less than normal because I had already bought all my Christmas presents and stuff. So if my rollover is over $1,000 going into a new month, I like to roll over the rollover into a savings account or something, just because I only really need about $1,000 of wiggle room. So my plan is to take that $700 or maybe $500 to be safe, and we'll add that into a savings account. As you guys know, I work a part-time corporate job and I like to undershoot my paychecks just because then if I get more, I'm happy. But if I overshoot and I get less, we kind of don't have as much to work with. So this is my base for working 3 days a week is about $1350. But I obviously do work additional hours here and there. So it may be a little bit higher. I don't know. We'll see. And then I have decided going into 2024 that I am going to pay myself from the business so that I can make sure I hit my savings goals because I have to supplement my income because I don't work a full-time corporate job anymore, right? So I'm paying myself $1,750 from the business, which will allow me to put $500 into my RSP, $500 into my TFSA, and then $500 either into my home or rainy day emergency fund, depending where I want to put it. So that is going to be pretty standard income for 2024. I don't want to get into the habit of paying myself more from the business. I'd rather that stay in there and, do its business thing and pay taxes and HST and stuff. Okay, expenses. December was a higher expense month for groceries and stuff because we did host Christmas Eve. But going into January, our meal kits, we did decide to try out Good Food for the first time. They were doing 60% off the next 4 boxes. So I want to say it'll be about $200, which is pretty good for honestly 4 meals a week for 2 people for the first month. Groceries, I'm going to say $150. Obviously, because we do meal kits, we really only do breakfast, lunch food, snacks, alcohol, wine and stuff. And Matt and I just take turns paying for that. And I'm just going to overshoot it to $150. Eating out, I'll put maybe $100. We don't really honestly go out to eat anymore. Same with coffee shops. I'll put $30. There's not really any coffee shops super close to us. And I just really enjoy making my coffee at home. So we'll definitely see a big cutback probably in the numbers with moving. Obviously, we're about almost an hour outside of the city now. So We do obviously have some towns near us, but in our specific small town, we don't got much, which is honestly kind of nice. Appointments, I'll probably get my nails touched up in January, so I'll put 50 for that. Self-care and wellness, this is going to be things like stocking up on shampoo, conditioner, body wash, makeup, etc. So I'm just going to put, I think, 50 every month because you obviously run out of things at different times. Clothing, we're going quality over quantity in 2023, but I'm going to put 150 in case I find something that's on sale that I'd like. House and home, this is different from my sinking fund for the house. Is like more of like random thrifting, curtains, stuff like that. So I'll put $200. But any big projects we do will come out of the sinking fund, if that makes sense. This is just for like small little things like HomeSense runs. Books come mainly out of my business account. Since I film book content, I can write those off, or a portion of them off. So I'll leave that empty because I don't see myself buying any books from my personal account this month. Miscellaneous spending, it's like Amazon and stuff. I'll put $150. Payment, this is gonna be our like budget line item for like movies and stuff, so I'll put 50. And then gifts, I don't anticipate there being any gifts this month. So this is pretty good. I give myself wiggle room here. Bills. So our mortgage in our new house is only $2 more a month, and Matt and I split it in half. So our mortgage is $16.02 Canadian, and obviously I pay half that, which is $8.01. Home insurance, we do split that now. We didn't split it at the condo because it was fairly low of a bill, and so we do split that bill now. Car payment, car insurance. Our water bill, that comes out in, it's every 3 months. Okay, I don't think that November, December, yeah, that will come out in January for February, so I'm not going to include that. Hydro, that is our electricity. I'm going to put $150 to be safe. Our gas and heat was actually like $340 this month because we didn't realize with Enbridge, they estimate your usage, and so we actually just sent them a photo of our meter and it ended up being lower, so we'll get a credit for next month. But you gotta pay this huge ass carbon tax thing. More in the federal carbon charge than our actual gas and heating bill, which is like honestly a little bit insane to me personally. But that came out to $170 and I got that bill already, so I just added that in. Okay, here's where savings and stuff comes in handy. I'm actually going to take my rollover out for a sec because you guys know I like to budget based on just like I'm not going to have that much rollover every month, so I'm going to add that at the end just so I know what's kind of like what I have left. So this leaves me with $1,500, which is honestly great because my goal was to put $500 in my RSP, $500 in my TFSA, and then $500 in the home sinking fund. That leaves me with, okay, yeah, $5, which that would be if I didn't have any rollover. My checking account was starting at like 0 this month. That would be what I should have left at the end of the month, but I'm going in with rollover. What did I say? $1,700. So my goal, I actually think I might put, yeah, let's do $500 in my rainy day savings. End of the month, if we still have like that much left in terms of like rollover, then we can add a little bit more. But once again, you guys know one of my goals for 2024 is to not overshoot on savings because I end up pulling it out to use it to pay like I overshoot on my savings. So like for example, right now I'd be like, I'm putting $1,000 in there, but then if like an unexpected bill comes up, then I end up pulling that money out of the savings to pay it anyways. So I'd rather just be like $500 a month, keep that in there, and then have some extra cushion room in my checkings. And then, like I said, at the end of the month, if I want to transfer some money over, I can. But let's just see how the month goes first. So that's the budget for January. And then, like I said, for February, we should have that new and improved spreadsheet. Like I haven't done anything yet in terms of like setting up my net worth, doing my savings, my debt. I don't really have like any debt that we're paying off. We just had the house and the car, or like even my credit because I'm waiting for the new spreadsheet. So maybe I'll film a video on that. I'm not too sure, but oh, you can tell it's starting to get dark in here, but it's kind of cozy, honestly. I love it. So anyways, that is the budget for January. Oh, that actually reminds me, let me just put up here, I'll put up my prompts, my journal prompts for 2024. In case you guys want to use them or use them for inspiration to create your own. I'll put them up right here for you guys. But I love you guys so much. This was such a chatty reset, but I know you guys like having these on in the background like while you reset as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye! This is when I chug my coffee at the end of the video. It's like taking a shot. I'm like so proud of myself.